Hello everyone, greetings to you all. This is grade 8 tutor and we will be treating unemployment. So you'll get to know the meaning of unemployment, the types of unemployment, and also the causes of unemployment as we move on to the next slide. So with this, you can get to know that unemployment refers to a situation where able-bodied people who have attained the legal working age or who wish to work at the existing wage do not find jobs. So you see, unemployment happens when people like who are capable of working are of working age and want to work can't find a job even though they are actively looking for one. So to be counted as unemployed, a person must be willing to work at the current pay rate and have been searching for a job recently. Hope you are getting it. But people who choose not to work, like those who are wealthy and don't need a job, aren't considered unemployed. The term also doesn't include people who have left the workforce due to retirement, studying, or maybe health issues. Please, I hope you are getting it. Good. So with this, we move on to know, you see, when more people are unemployed, hope you are getting it. I'm trying to explain the whole thing here, summarize everything here, and then you get the understanding well. So when more people are unemployed, the country produces less because fewer people are working to make goods and what services. So I hope you are getting it. Yes. So however, if people don't have jobs, they still need to buy food, pay bills, and use resources. Please, I hope you are getting it. Yeah. So this use of resources doesn't help the economy to grow since unemployed people aren't contributing to the production. Hope I get it. Because the people that are unemployed, they are the same people that are also buying. And they are buying the fewer goods that have been produced by the employed people. Hope I get it. And if this goes on, it's not going to help the economy. So I hope you are getting it. Good. So we move on to knowing and understanding economic unemployment. So with this, you can get to know that let's take for a scenario like, let's say for the sign of economic distress, they say unemployed workers must maintain at least substance consumption during their period of unemployment. You see, if you are unemployed, the food or the amount that you are going to consume, or the product or services that you are going to buy to consume should be normal. Because if you keep on consuming and then your consumption becomes more than the production by the fewer people that are employed, it's going to bring economic distress, or there will be pressure on them. That's what we're getting. So let's take for an example. You see, imagine, let's say, a small town where a factory shuts down and many people lose their jobs. You see, they will still need to buy some stuff, they have to pay rent, they have to keep their lights on, but they are not making any money to produce goods and services. So the town will then start to struggle because less money are circulating, and also eventually people might start protesting or even leave the town because things are getting worse. Hope you are getting it. So with unemployment, there will be a sign of economic distress, because if unemployed workers do not maintain a substance consumption during their period of unemployment, it will bring an economic distress. Please, hope you are getting it. Cool. So moving to the sign of overheating economy, you see, a low unemployment rate on the other hand means that the economy is more likely to be producing near its full capacity, maximizing output, driving wage growth, and raising living standards over time. So, I want to explain this with an example. Let's look at it in a way like a busy city whereby almost everyone is employed. Companies start competing for the few available workers, and then they will offer high wages to attract employees. Please, I hope you're getting it. But whilst they offer high wages to attract employees, it will drive up costs for everyone. And as a result of that, prices for goods and services will start to rise quickly, because those companies are rushing for the fewer employees there, with maximizing their wages in order to attract them. So am I getting it? Yes, good. So with this, we move to the measurements of unemployment. And we will be explaining this with a diagram as we move on. So with this, you can see in this diagram that for you to identify the unemployed, the employed, the unemployed, and also not in the labor force, you have to know those working and not working. So those people who are not working, they can be people who are absent from the job, or maybe they are on vacation, or maybe they are ill. These people, they are employed, but because of some circumstances, they are absent from the job. But those who have been laid off, waiting for a recall. Sometimes there will be a laid off, and which the manager will tell you that, okay, wait for us to call you before you come back. Please hope you're getting it. Yes, these people are unemployed. Whilst you are waiting for a recall, you are what? Unemployed. We move on to those who are actively looking for work or jobs for the past 4 weeks, or let's say for the past months and the rest. They are unemployed. And also none of the above. If you are not in any of the above, then you are not in the labor force. This is what we are getting. So you have to get to know those working and not working. So those who are working are employed. Those who are absent from the job because of some vacation and illness and maybe a leave, they are also employed. But the rest are what? Unemployed. Please, I hope you are getting it. Good. So with this, we move on to knowing the types of what? Unemployment. And as you move on to know the types of unemployment, you move on to frictional unemployment. So with the frictional unemployment, it talks of unemployment occurs when individuals are temporarily without a job while transitioning from one position to another, or entering the workforce for the first time. You're not getting this. So for example, as is stated here, a recent graduate are actively looking for a job, or a professional who has quit one job to find a more suitable one would fall into his category. Because how am I getting it? So it's like you are trying to find for you are temporarily trying for like finding for a job, and that will actually fall into your category of what? Of work. So you are moving from one position to another. You are trying to find for the job that will fit you, or that will fit the kind of category that you want. This becomes what? Frictional unemployment. So how we are getting it? Cool. So as I stated earlier, I would say that frictional unemployment is a natural consequence of market processes and the exchange of information, which can often be expensive. Because finding new unemployment, hiring individuals, matching the requirements issued by a company, and then giving related jobs to suitable people often leads to what? Frictional unemployment. Because sometimes when information changes, that maybe a company is offering this which falls under your category, you are going to leave the job that you are doing now because you want to find the kind of work that will fit into your category. Because what we are getting it. Cool. So with frictional unemployment, information and then market processes can also cause this. So it is a natural form of what? Unemployment, and it's healthy in the economy. Please what we are getting, because frictional unemployment can be good for economy as it allows workers to move to jobs where they can be more productive. More productive, because as people move from the already job that they have to where they can be fit, or where it can fit into their kind of category, they'll be able to work more productive, because that's what they are being designed for. Please, I hope you're getting it. Cool. So we move on to the next one, which talks about cyclical unemployment. So with cyclical unemployment, we are trying to know the loss of job that occurs during changes in business cycles. And we know that business cycles talk of recession and what? Recession, business booming, and business going through economic distress and the rest. So it refers to a periodic rise and fall in the unemployment rate as an economy what? Undergoes growth and losses. So the effect of an economy undergoing some growth and losses will lead to cyclical unemployment. Will lead to a cyclical unemployment, because during recession, many industries can suffer. And because of that, they will have to lay off some employees in the industry. So this type of unemployment that occurs in a form like the causes being business cycles, the growth and the losses of what? The economy leads to what? Cyclical unemployment. Because cyclical unemployment can, by the Keynesian, is called what? It can also be called the Keynesian unemployment. So in case you don't see cyclical unemployment, it can also be called what? The Keynesian unemployment. And it is called demand deficient. Demand deficient unemployment because it is always associated with deficiency in demand. It is always what? Associated with deficiency of demand. So with cyclical unemployment, you have to know that it can also be called the Keynesian type of unemployment, which is also associated with what? The deficiency in what? In demand. Please, I hope you are getting it. Whereby companies are suffering, and because of because of them being in those economic distress, they have to lay off workers. And by laying off workers, they are deficient in what? In demand. Please, I hope you are getting it. Cool. So we move on to the demand deficiency unemployment. So it is closely related with cyclical unemployment, because with demand efficiency unemployment or demand deficient unemployment, it occurs when there's not enough demand for workers that are what? Available. When there is not enough demand for workers that are what? Available. For the cyclical unemployment, it is caused when business cycles changes. So the cyclical and the demand deficient unemployment are what? Closely related but not the same, because the cyclical is caused by what? The changes in business cycle, the growth and losses of economic what? Growth. Please, I hope you are getting it. Good. So you see, this often results in the general downturn in the economy and closely related to cyclical unemployment, as I explained earlier, because during a severe recession, consumer demand falls. So this one, it is not the company laying you off, but you see, there are some kind of recession that when demand falls, it will lead to decrease in production. And there's no need that when a company is facing a recession, they will have to employ someone, or they have to employ another person to come and join them in the industry. Please hope you are getting it. So with cyclical and demand deficient unemployment, it is closely related but not the same, because with cyclical, I would say that with cyclical, it is caused by business cycle, the changes in business cycle. But demand deficient is also caused by that. But the aside of it being demand deficient is when during a recession, demand will fall. And if demand falls, production will be low. And if production comes low, no industry or no manager is going to employ someone to come and add to the already existing employees, because already we are facing economic recession. Because I hope you are getting it. So cool. So we move on to the next type of unemployment, which talks of the structural unemployment. So with the structural unemployment, it results from the variety of causes and the following instances, an example of which we are going to explain more comprehensively. So everything that I'll be talking about is briefly explained, but I will touch more on most of the important parts as we move on. So first of all, the structural unemployment happens when when the skill set of a worker does not match with the skills demanded by the jobs available. Or maybe when workers are available but unable to reach the geographical location of jobs. It's structural. So, for example, a teaching job that requires relocation to China, but the worker cannot secure work visa due to certain visa restrictions. Although there is work, but because of geographical reasons, the worker cannot relocate to China because the person is not having visa and the passport to do or to get there. Please, I hope you are getting it. Yes. So it can also happen when there's a technological change in the organization, such as workflow automation, that displaces the need for human labor. So here's the case that you've in an organization whereby everything is technology, robotics and stuff. Technology can also lead to what? To that change in organization. Please, I hope you are getting it. Cool. So again, with the structural unemployment, it comes about due to the changes in technical skills required of jobs that frequently accompany the evolution of a society. So as society changes, the requirements of a job will change, because every industry is trying to be customer-centered, trying to serve the society. So as society is changing, the requirement that will be needed by the company to come for the job will also change. Please, I hope you are getting it. Yes, because It is easier to hire new trained workers than to retain old workers. It is very, very higher because now most of us are experiencing what? Unemployment. So if a company really needs some people to, it becomes very easy, but it becomes very difficult to maintain or to train old workers, result in loss of employment for the masses. So I hope you are getting it. Cool. So with this form of unemployment, it can be caused when the technical skills that they need doesn't match with the skills you have, or when you have the skills, but because of geographical reasons, you cannot allocate yourself to that kind of job. So I hope you are getting it. Cool. So we'll move to, as explained, you can get to know that some unemployed workers do not have the skills and training necessary to fill the jobs that are in demand. Others with highly specialized skills are unemployed because technological change or shifting demand has eliminated the need of these skills. As I explained earlier. So, the structural unemployed persons are usually those who simply cannot find any job they can do. So I hope you are getting it. Any job that they can do. And it will result in what? When the consuming public no longer wants to buy an individual services in that location. When someone is no more interested in the kind of product or in the kind of services that you are giving in that location, there will be no need for you to employ any other person to be added to the kind of job that you are doing. You get it? So instead of them going through the training, the individual persists in his or her research for employment with obsolete skills in the market with limited demand. Often people refuse to move because they wait for times to improve. The result is permanent depression in some geographic areas due to labor immobility. So with this, you can get to know the meaning of structural unemployment. It is quite simple. So everything here has been summarized, of which we are going to pinpoint some of the most important things in this slides, of which you'll be able to get more understanding. So let's move on. So with structural unemployment, furthermore, structural unemployment arises when there's a mismatch between the skills that workers in the economy can offer and the skill demanded by the employers. So please, I hope you are getting it very simple. Yes, the skills that you are having, it is mismatching with the skills that the organization need. So there's a mismatch. They need driving skills in maybe big cars or stuff. You know how to drive, but the kind of drive that you drive, you don't drive big cars. It's a mismatch. So I hope you are getting it. Yes. So we move on to the next slide, as it always talks of technological unemployment. You see, structural unemployment can be associated with technological unemployment because as you bring in technology to change the work automation or how businesses or how organization does their work, it helps to lay off It's going to lay off human labor. So it's closely related. But with structure, it's not always that it's going to be technical. It's going to be a technology thing that is going to cause that. Hope you are getting it. But with technological unemployment, it arises when advancements in technology render certain job or skills, leading to job losses in affected industries. Here's the case that you have AI, everything is working. When you go to your organization, an organization can be having every machine as robots. No human being is working over there. So as technology advances, it's lay off human labor. So what we are getting, making them to be unemployed. Because while technological unemployment can lead to the increase in efficiency and productivity, it is also concerned. It is also like displacing workers. How are you going to get money to do this, to do stuffs? If technology keeps on increasing, although technology brings about efficiency, but there should be a balance of which, when technology is being advanced in an organization, there should be a balance of which you are going to adapt to technology and you are going to use the human labor or the human capital. Please, I hope you are getting it. Cool. So we move on to Institutional unemployment. So I would say with the institutional unemployment, here's the case that the government brings out with what? The minimum wage. Maybe the least amount of money that you should pay. If you can't pay a particular worker with this amount of, the least, at least the minimum wage that is said that you have to pay is being set by what? The government. So sometimes when the minimum wage is too high, when you have to pay a particular employee and then the government said that, like the government sets that minimum wage too high, it becomes very difficult for you to employ, because when you know that when you employ, you are going to incur so much loss, whereby you have to pay more workers with such high minimum wage. Please hope you are getting it. For example, if you are the manager of a particular organization and then the government instituted that there should be a minimum wage of which you have to pay a particular employee. And that minimum wage is very, very high. Even after deducting your expenses and everything, you will not even get the person. Are you going to still continue to employ someone to be part of the organization? No. Why? Because the minimum wage set by the government is too high. Because we are getting it. Good. So with institutional unemployment, it results in a long-term or permanent institutional factors and incentives in the economy, as I explained earlier. Sometimes it's the government that is causing them. And what can contribute to the institutional unemployment is when government policies such as high minimum wage floors and generous social benefit programs and restrictive occupational licensing laws. You get it? So when all these things are being instructed by the government, it hinders or it stops organization from going to employ people to be added or to join them in the organization because of high minimum wage. So then we move on to the next, which talks of the seasonal unemployment. So you see, for every season, as it says, there is time for everything, and for every season, and every seed grows within a season. Every seed grows within a season. There will be a time that you get to this season, and then there will be a season of mango. There will be a season of cocoa. Hope you are getting it. So I'm trying to relate it with seasonal unemployment. It happens when season changes. Hope you are getting it. Sometimes there are some seasons that when your organization is working within those seasons, it will be very hard to maintain workers or employees. For example, if an organization or if an industry is producing a water sachet, when the season is very, very cold, the consumption of water becomes very low, of which it will lead to low production. Because of the season. And because of the season, it becomes very, very hard for the organization to maintain the employees, because we are not getting sales. How are we going to pay you? In order for us not to be sent to the court of why we are not paying you, it is better we laid you off. And what is causing all this? Because of the season. Because of the season. Because every business thrives in a particular season at a particular time. Please, I hope you are getting. Let's say in a season of dry season, and you are selling umbrellas. Tell me, how many people are they going to purchase umbrellas when it's dry season? No. Although they can be dry season whereby there's hot sun, but maybe let's say the sun is all that normal, not very hot. If you're experiencing this type of dry season, it's very hard for people to purchase umbrellas. Umbrellas will only thrive when there is when there is that type of raining season. So if you've really checked, when you are going somewhere and then you get to town and then it wants to rain, you see all those market women selling tomatoes and those stuffs changing from selling tomatoes to selling raincoats. It's because of the season. Please, I hope you are getting it. Good. So we move on to the casual unemployment. So with the casual unemployment, it's mostly like the frictional unemployment, because we employ people based on the season. Because labor is like on a short-term basis, something like a tourism, catering, or building, or maybe agriculture. Building is a casual unemployment. The fact that you are building a house doesn't mean you are going to continue to build a house. Even the house is still complete. Are you still going to build a house? No. Again, so it's like when labor is when labor is employed on a short-term basis. That is what the casual unemployment. When labor is employed on a short-term basis, you are employed to do this thing on a short-term basis. It's not going to be a long-term thing. Please hope you are cool with it. Good. So when casual unemployment results from regular fluctuation in demand or weather condition, it can be called seasonal unemployment. So with the casual unemployment and seasonal unemployment, they are quite related, because we employ you on a short-term basis for you to do something. After that, after you are done with what we've employed you for, you are no more working. You know, getting it. And the seasonal unemployment also happens when seasons or changes, with respective to the kind of work that you are doing. You get it? So when you are offering any kind of work of which it's mostly it's affected by seasonal or the season, it can be really difficult when that season comes for you to maintain employees. Because I hope you are getting it. Good. So we move on to the urban unemployment. So with the urban unemployment, it is caused by high concentration of labor in the urban areas. Everyone wants to work in the town. Everyone wants to come to where buildings and infrastructures are to come and work. So when there's that kind of pressure from people moving from those rural areas to come to the urban areas to come and find jobs, whereby they won't check the rural side of area. So I get it. So it's like this urban unemployment is caused by supply of labor in urban area. That is excess of demand. Most people want to come and work in the town. They want to come to the place that people are selling and this and that. But this place too, demand of labor is in excess. So we are all moving from the rural areas. Why not we focus on the rural areas, and then we don't mind whether being urban or being rural, because it's all those urban areas all those rural areas all those urban areas was sometime or was someday a rural area. It is because of people coming there to work that was able to build that place to be an urban area. So we are getting. So when everyone is moving from the rural areas to come and work, and then where you are coming to, there's excess in demand of labor. What are you coming here to do? Of course, you have nothing to do here, because the demand for labor at the urban area is low. They're not going to, because there's excess in demand. They have the people that they want to work with. What are you going to do there? See what again? So these kind of changes will also lead to unemployment. That is as I said. So with this, we move on to the job search unemployment. So with the job search unemployment, you see, just because workers are unemployed doesn't mean they will necessarily take the first job they find. No. Frankly speaking, no. Because some people, the fact that they are unemployed doesn't mean any job that they offer them, they'll have to take. No. They want the job that will fit to the kind of money that you should pay for them. Don't you know that every value or the value that you build whilst you build on your, on your abilities to get a job, it has a minimum or a reservation money or a reservation way that they should pay you. Let's take an accountant as an example. If you are a small startup business and you want to apply, or you want to employ an accountant, do you have the money to pay for that accountant? You have to know, because there's a reservation wage for the amount of money that should be paid for accountants. That's why I was saying, then the fact that someone who is an accountant, or maybe an HR manager, or maybe any kind of manager, or any employee is having the kind of abilities to work, and then you don't have those reservation wage to pay for the person, doesn't mean the person is to take your job. Because there will be a situation whereby someone will be like, I've been moving here and there, and then no one is saying they can pay me. It is you that you are going to decide, okay, even if you can't pay the reservation rate that is being set, I will get to collect any kind of money that you are going to give me, or any kind of rate that you're going to give me. So please, I hope you are getting it. Good. So as you read, you can get to know that job that offers wages below the worker reservation wage will be rejected. And the worker will search for work until he finds a job that offers a wage equal or greater than the reservation rate. So I hope you're getting it. Cool. So with this, you could get to know that if an individual is having a kind of value, maybe a chartered accountant is trying to find a job, there's a minimum or there's a reservation wage that you should pay to like chartered accountants, or you have to pay to chartered accountants. If they get to know that you can't pay them, or their money that you are offering them is low, below the reservation rate, they are not going to accept. Sometimes the only thing that they are going to do, it depends on the person whether you are going to accept, because as you keep on roaming, you are not finding the job that is going to pay you the reservation rate that you want. Please, I hope you are getting it. Good. So as long as the worker expects a wage offer equal or greater than the reservation wage to turn up through continuous searching, he or she will choose to continue to search than to accept offer below the reservation wage. So it depends. If I'm not getting the kind of money that people should pay me, it is me that would decide whether to continue searching, or maybe to just say that, okay, let me just accept any kind of wage, or maybe let me just stop. Please, I hope you're getting it. Cool. So, however, the number of weeks of unemployment and job search increases, the worker tends to lower the reservation wage. You've been roaming, let's say you've been roaming for 2 months, trying to search for a job that can pay you the money that you want, and you're not getting it. Aren't you going to reduce your reservation rate by yourself? Of course, you're going to do that, because you've walked long way, you've been moving here and there. The only thing that you could do to survive is to accept any kind of wage below your reservation wage. Please, I hope you're getting it. Good. So with this, we can see as the number of weeks increases, or the moment you start searching for a job, your reservation wage is higher. So you can see with the table here that at the end of the week 1, you can get to see that the workers' reservation wage was 25 cedis per hour. But if a week of searching turns out a best wage offer at 10 cedis, the worker will not accept, because he or she expects to find a better wage offer than further searching. Okay, so however, if as further searching fails to turn up a 25 cedis wage offer, the worker lowers his or her reservation wage. Because I hope you are getting it well. Good. So you can see that you can see that the person's wage was 25 cedis. But as the number of weeks keeps on increasing that he or she is trying to find for job, the employee or the worker will then lower the reservation wage, because he's been trying to find for job for long. So we are getting it. Good. So we move on to the other types of unemployment. For the other types of unemployment, we are going to talk of the long-term unemployment, and then you move on to other types. So with the other type of unemployment, you move on to the underemployment, not under unemployment. So underemployment refers to a situation where a person is engaged in activity where his talent or potentials or knowledge are not adequately utilized. Someone can say your mind is underrated, where your mind should think to is not thinking to that extent, so it is underutilized. Because I hope I get it. I'm trying to use that to explain it very well. So with the underemployment, how your talent should be used is underutilized. The extent of which your talent or the extent of which your potentials are supposed to be used is not up to that extent. So your potentials are underutilized. That brings on underemployment. So let's say a trained postgraduate teacher who teaches in a primary school because there is no vacancy in higher institution is underemployed. So you can see to it that because the person can't find the reservation wage of which he or she wants, he has just accepted to teach in any primary school, which has leads to unemployment. So you can see to it that those the types of unemployment is actually linked to each other, of which This cause can lead to this cause. Because how we are getting it, this cause can lead to this cause. Because maybe you are searching for the kind of maybe organization that will also help you to give you that reservation rate, and you are not getting it. You are going to accept any kind of what? Work. Because how we are getting it? Good. So with this, you get to know that underemployment is often caused by cyclical employment. During recession, and the unemployed workers will take what they can take to make means what end, or to make ends what meet. Sorry. So hope you are getting it. Good. Because cyclical unemployment, because of business cycles, the growth, and then the losses of economic growth. Are you not going to accept any kind of rate that will be given to you? Of course, you are going to do that. Because hope you are getting it. So underemployment, the types of employment that we've discussed earlier, or the types of unemployment that the types of unemployment that we've already discussed earlier will mostly lead to what? Underemployment. Please, I hope you are getting it. Oh, good. So with this, we can talk of what? The disguised unemployment. One thing about disguised unemployment is, you see, I will say to you that disguised unemployment is when more people are working on a job than needed. So some workers aren't even adding they are not even adding any output to the kind of what work. Which I hope you are getting it. So let's say imagine a small family where 5 people are working, but the farm only needs 3 people to do all the work. The extra 2 people are technically what? Employed, because if they stop working, the farm production will not change. They are not really contributing to output. It's like someone will say they are just walking around the premises, they are just walking over there, just doing nothing. Because, for example, let's say you help people to I don't know if you've really experienced this kind of trend that is actually happening in most of our towns, whereby the moment a public bus comes there, individuals will be standing there and then they will be shouting for people to come in. They are disguised unemployment. Whether these people will come or not, we have the mate who is going to what? Make sure that he or she what? Shout, so that people will come what? In. So those people that will be there waiting for the public bus to come, and then they will be shouting for people to come and enter and board the bus. They are disguised unemployment. Please, I hope you are getting it. So let's give one example and then we move on. So for an example, a person who helps sell goods at shop of a relative where his services are not actually needed. So it's like where your services are not actually needed, or where your services will not add any output or will not bring any changes. If you leave or you don't leave, there will not be any changes in output. It's a disguise of unemployment. Please, I hope you are getting it. Good. So again, disguised unemployment refers to a situation where more people are unemployed in a job than what is actually what required, as I said earlier. So with a farm example that I give, you can really understand what disguised unemployment is. So move on to the next slide. So with the next slide, it also talks of furthermore, disguised unemployment represent an inefficient allocation of labor where individuals are underemployed rather than completely employed. Because you are just walking around the premises. You don't add anything to output. It's like what you are supposed to do is underutilized. So instead of you to get a job that can really pay you, you are just walking around the premises and your services are not actually really needed. It's like you're helping someone to carry your services are not actually needed. Whether you come or you don't come, they will still do, or they will still get the same output that they are still getting, or they will even improve the kind of output they're even getting, or they will even improve on our efficiency. So if you're getting it, good. So with this, we can talk of vulnerable unemployment. I'll give an example before we move on to, so with a vulnerable unemployment, let's see this example as, so imagine someone working on the streets, or maybe working as a street vendor. Sorry, not working on the street. They don't have any regular paycheck. They don't have any health insurance. Like there's not any kind of protection with the kind of job that they are doing. So if they get sick, or maybe the market is slow, they work, but their job is not secure. They can easily lose their income if something goes wrong. This is what we call vulnerable unemployment. Because whilst you are working as a street vendor, as a street vendor, or maybe a day laborer, your working somehow is very risky. You can tend to lose everything, of which you're not going to get anything back. So what we are getting it. So if you check the definition, or as we've stated here, you can get to know that vulnerable unemployment refers to individuals who are employed in insecure conditions. Sometimes to a self-employed, they've self-employed themselves, and also they often lack what? Legal protection, benefit, or job security. So vulnerable unemployment is not always you being employed at places that are insecure, or maybe places that they have or they lack legal protection. But sometimes too, if you self-employ yourself as a street vendor, there are something that you are going to bear. Please, I hope you are getting it. Good. So, for example, as I explained earlier, you, a street vendor, daily wage workers, and domestic workers often fall into this category in many developing countries. Please, I hope you are getting it. Good. So with this, we'll move on to the next one, which talks of the natural unemployment. So when we talk of natural unemployment, they are the unemployment that is caused naturally. And in every country, there should be a certain percentage of unemployment in the country. So when you talk of natural unemployment consists of two main types. You have the frictional and the structural. So the frictional unemployment and the structural unemployment explains why there is always some level of unemployment, and even in a healthy economy. So even in a healthy economy, if you're having zero unemployment, there will be an overheat, an overheating of the economy. So in every economy, whether healthy or not healthy, you have to get a percentage of unemployment. Because what we are getting it, and that will be 4.5% to 5% to 5%. Because what we are getting. So at least a developing country or a healthy country or a healthy organization should get let's say 4.5% to 5% of unemployed people or unemployment. Please, I hope you are getting. So what causes natural unemployment is frictional and structural, sometimes to cyclical, due to business cycles. Business or cycles. Yes, the cyclical is caused by this business cycle. So mostly the main ones are the frictional and the structural, but often to cyclical too can be part of natural unemployment. Please, I hope you are getting it. So in case you get to the options of which it states frictional, structure, and cyclical, it is parts. They are all the same. Thank you. So we move on to the causes of unemployment. So with the causes of unemployment, we can get to know that. So I'm trying to summarize everything here so that you get the understanding. So the causes of unemployment, as Karl Marx taught, that people who own businesses want some people to be unemployed so that they can pay them less money to work. Hope you are getting it. But that's not the whole story. Unemployment happens for many reasons, like when businesses don't want to hire people, that's the demand side. And also when people don't have the right skills or can't get to jobs, that's the supply side. So some reasons businesses might not hire include the high interest rates. That's like there's a high rent on money, Please, I hope you are getting it. And also global recession. When there's global recession, there's no way a business can employ any other person to be part of the organization or whatever industry that they are in. Also financial crisis. When money gets tight, how can we pay you? So there will be no need for any business to employ you. So what we are getting it. So with Karl Marx, he's talking about the supply side and the demand side of unemployment. Hope you are getting it. So like the frictional unemployment, where it talks of like being between jobs. You are moving from a job that will actually fit with your category. Please, I hope you are getting it. And there is the structure is like you are not having the right skills. Please, I hope you are getting it. So with the demand side and the supply side, That's what Karl Marx is talking about. So also different countries have different reasons for unemployment. It's not the same, but mostly all that we discuss are the general one. Every country has the reason why there's unemployment. Please hope you are getting it. So we are going to discuss those, of which we will be discussing the causes of unemployment in advanced economies. In what? Advanced economies. So we're talking of recessions, when the economy slows down and when many people lose their jobs. The second one, depression, like recession, but much worse and lasting what? Longer. Because the depression is much longer, but recession doesn't last. It doesn't last long. It's what we're getting. And the technological improvement, whereby machines replace human workers. Hope you are getting it. So these are the unemployment in advanced country. We have the job outsourcing, whereby when companies is to hire people from other companies to do jobs instead of what? Local workers. You have people in your company. Instead of them to use the people over there, you want to hire expertise from other companies to work, to come and work. Please hope again. This will cause what? Unemployment, because the people that are there, you are not really using them. You are making them under employment. Please hope you are getting it. Yes. And you have the voluntary leaving one job to find another. When people quit their job to look for a better one. Please hope you are getting it. So we move on to the rest. We talks of what? Causes of employment in developing countries. We have globalization, what? Impact. So this is unemployment and in underdeveloped economies like Ghana. That's a multifaceted social economic issue, which has economic, technological, demographic, educational, social, and policy related causes factors. So in underdeveloped countries, you have the principal causes of unemployment as globalization impact. Global policies can lead to job losses in certain sectors. The influence of cheap Chinese goods might affect local manufacturing, leading to what? Job losses. Because of globalization, or because of the impact of globalization, where there's for you to afford cheap materials from other countries, it discourages what? Industries, or it discourages what? Manufacturing units in the domestic country to produce. And if it discourages them, how are they going to hire people to come and produce? Because they are already discouraged because of the the impact of globalization that they are also facing. So we are getting it. Yes. So we have the technological changes whereby advancement in technology can take certain jobs. Like trying to make sure that in a certain manufacturing company, you're trying to make everything automatic. Instead of you using human laborers to come and help you to get the job done. Because of technology advancement, everything is being automated. So we are getting it, which would then lead to what? Human labor, or which would then lead to the employing human laborers to come and help in in production. Lack of infrastructure. When there's inadequate infrastructure, it hinders economic growth and job creation. For example, poor road connectivity in remote areas can deter business from setting up operations over there. Let's be truthful to ourselves. Wherever that you find yourself, maybe you are in a remote area, you are actually in an urban area. But here's the place that those living in the rural areas, they are having road problems. They are not having correct road issue. They are having poor road. How can a business who want to supply water, or maybe want to supply certain water, come and set up business there so that they will employ people over there? It's because of what? Lack of infrastructure. The infrastructure that are supposed to be there to help businesses get to know that this place is okay. It will be easy for transportation. They are not there. So the lack of infrastructure can cause unemployment in underdeveloped countries like Ghana. Please, I hope you are getting it. Good. So with this, we have educational factors whereby there's a mismatch between education and industry demands. Sometimes industry, there's an industry that would demand for you to have 3 years working experience, whereby even when you went to any kind of university or maybe any kind of institution, you were only to get an intern, or you were able to get a work experience of about 2 years. Okay, so like mismatch between education and industry demand, because some people really demand experienced people, or they want experienced skills and experienced personnel to come and work. So we are getting it. So we have the informal labor markets. We have the rural-urban divide. We have the deficiency in demand. So with the deficiency in demand, when demand for goods and services is low as a result of what? Let's say, for instance, low incomes, large scale production is not justified. The situation is even worse when there's fall in existing level of demand due to slump in the economy. Whether it's business cycle, when there's what? Recession in the economy, when there's losses in the economy, it is very hard to increase what? The demand for what? Supply. Sorry, the demand for labor. Please, hope you are getting it. Good. So, these are some of the causes of some of the causes of unemployment in developing countries. Labor immobility, when some industries shrinks in size, others may expand in size, require more labor, but due to lack of retraining facilities and other factors, labor may be occupationally or geographically immobile. So workers who lose their jobs in one industry or area cannot acquire jobs in other industry. They experience unemployment of that structural type. So that kind of labor immobility, whereby is due to lack of retraining. Instead of you to retrain them so that you will be able to maintain, they won't do it. So this will leave the person being geographically or occupationally immobile. You can't move to any other organization or to work. So hope you're getting it. Introduction of labor saving devices. Technology is on ascendancy in all sectors of the economy. That's whereby entrepreneurs are able to minimize costs and constantly introducing labor saving techniques, especially machines, to reduce their demand for labor and throws labor into technological unemployment. So we are getting whereby the advancement of technology is increasing the way that entrepreneurs are supposed to work. Please, hope you're getting it. So let's take it in a form of when, let's say, AI came. AI is helping in a form of robot, and then people are supposed to work where AI is working or where robots or automation systems are working. They are being laid off because of our technology. This is what introduction of labor saving device, because always they want to reduce cost. And improvement in IT reduces what cost. So hope you are getting it good. So with this, you can see to it that the ignorance of job opportunity. Some people don't know that there are job opportunity. They are also causes of unemployment. That's why you have to be exposed to the labor market. You have to be exposed to the supply market. You have to be exposed to industry. Get to know job opportunities. Because if you're ignorant of them and you don't search, how can you get to know that there's a kind of job? And you'll be sitting there blaming the government that there's no job for the youth. Please, I hope you're getting it. Good. So with this lack of capital for self-employment, there are many unemployed people who possess the enterprise required for self-employment. This, however, requires money capital, such enterprising people who do not have the required capital and have no means of acquiring remain unemployed, because there are many unemployed people who possess the enterprise required for self-employment. You have to employ yourself, but because of the capital that they don't have to start up whatever thing that they want to do, they can't employ themselves. Please, I hope you are getting it. Yes. So we have the seasonal variation in unemployment. That will be the causes for some of unemployment. So we have the government policies, and also the policies and the regulation can sometimes limit job creation. For example, stretching labor laws might deter some industries from expanding their operation in the industry. So these are some of the causes of employment in developing countries. We talk of the effect of unemployment on individuals. So we talk of unemployment on individual, that is, we have unemployment as causing effects on individuals. Some of the effect is financial strain. People will get to lose income. They won't get any money to do whatever thing, to afford housing, to afford the basic needs of which you are going to need. It leads to mental health issues. Someone will say when you are not having or when you are not being employed, you'll be thinking a lot, of which it will lead to mental health issues. A deep sense of hopelessness. You are hopeless. You won't find job. You'll be thinking about it every day and night. Skill erosion. When you are not employed for some time or for a longer period, the skill that you have, of which you have to develop on, is going to erode. Because as you keep on working with the skill that you have, you'll be able to build on it. But because you are unemployed, how can you build on that skill? And which is going to give you what? Skill erosion. Because we are getting the loss of self-esteem. That is the effect of unemployment of individuals. Then we move on to the effect of unemployment on the society as well, of which it increases poverty. And also it increases the rise of what? Crime. Because people are unemployed, they have to find ways and means to what? To survive. Of which is going to increase what? In crime. Please, I hope you are getting it. It leads to loss of human resources, because unemployment represents waste of valuable human resources. Some people are very skilled. They are very talented, but because of unemployment, there's wastage of human resources. Why should people be going to school to learn? Please, I hope you are getting it. But I'm not encouraging anyone to not stop schooling. I will just encourage you to build value. So with this, as it also leads to the GDP impacts. As we discussed earlier, that the GDP can either increase or decrease, whether the prices of goods and services can increase, or maybe the production of goods and services can increase or decrease. So it also leads to what? The GDP impact. It can impact, or it has an impact on GDP. That's what we are getting. Because under unemployment can lead to decrease in consumer spending and investment. And if people don't consume and if people don't spend, how is the national income going to be captured? So this will lead to the GDP becoming what's low. Because how we are getting it. Good. So with this, we have the socio-economic costs, and then you bring our lesson to an end. So these are the effects, and this is all about unemployment. This is grade 8 tutor, and I'm in the person of Ajimano Derek. We move on to some of the measures to solve what? Problems of unemployment. Some of the measures. There has to be provision of retraining facilities for labor, which will enable labor to what? To move from contracting industries into expanding ones. It's how we are getting it. Good. There has to be some improvement in the agricultural sector through provision of irrigation and other facilities. And also, there should be development of the rural areas and making agriculture and other rural economic activities more what? Profitable. So we are getting, these are some of the measures to solve what? Unemployment. And also, we get to know the measures. Some of the measures are also increasing income so that effective demand for goods and services will rise to encourage entrepreneurs to increase output and thus employ more labor. So as we increase the income of employees are going to spend on their income, of which there will be a lot of pressure on production. And it will require the entrepreneur to what? To employ more what? Labor. Please, all be getting it. Oh, good. So with this, we can get to know some of the measures that's checking population rates. You can use population rate to what? To make sure that you curb unemployment, because the increase in population can cause unemployment because the workforce or the work in the country is not enough. So as people increasing in what? In population, they become pressure on what? The workload. Please, I hope you are getting it. Yes. So job placement centers should be established at the regional and the district capitals where information on job availability on demand for jobs can be obtained. So you have to make sure that you place people at job, there should be job kind of placement, not people moving from the rural areas, but there should be some kind of district jobs, regional and other ones, of which everyone can be placed over there in order to work. So we are getting it. Yes. And also loans should be available on soft terms to people who desire to enter into self-employment ventures. There are some people, because they're kind of unemployment in the society, they would want to build their own enterprise. So there should be a kind of loan that is made available for them to use those loans to build upon their industry. Please hope you're getting it. Yes. So this is study questions on unemployment as we move on. So this will bring to the end of our lesson. I am the person of Ajimano Derek, and this is grade 8 tutor. Like, subscribe as well. See you in the other lesson. Thank you.